Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. No bullshitting.
I mean...
The real thing. The real story.
I hear you, Your Honor. But how about nah, though?
Ugh.
Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gat help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof.
Huh.
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
P.O. Wait a minute, last time I read this, it gave us the contents of the book.
Yeah.
It didn't let us actually look at the book itself. Yeah, okay. P.O. Oh, shit! Hey! There's a picture here! Wow.
Oh my.
Fast thinking. Cell phone?
Did they have the tech? Whatever.
I mean, her flip phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also, shit. Like, you have this, but then you need to hide this. But having this also incriminates. You know what I mean? Keeping this would be a dangerous move if your whole game is to make sure that this doesn't come to light. So she played real risky by keeping her own counter evidence. I guess if it was never exposed forcefully.
This is the actual crime scene.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contracted a criminal affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Contacted. Lana's picture inserted into the court record.
Crime scene photo from the case 2 years ago taken. Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be?
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Mm-hmm.
As you called him.
And you didn't touch it.
True
before
that.
this point.
True that.
The cloth we found inside Chief Gat's safe. What's this? What's this? There's handprints in the air.
This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. Uh-oh.
We dodged the question. We dodge rolled to the other side of the room. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Fuck, okay, we're almost there. But it still incriminates her. We can tag Gant to the scene of the crime first. But it also confirms the push. But just because there was a push doesn't mean that he ended up where they say he did.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination.
Actual crime scene.
For reals. On God, no cap. Okay. Oh! Hold it!
Yo!
Come now. Uji? This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Chief Gant!
What? Now you want me to make me out as the bad guy, too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier.
Just sit back, relax.
Oh, we'll have you done up in a minute? Take a seat in the corner.
And enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck.
Let's fucking go. So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even I can't testify. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't. But someone does.
Someone?
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves us no room for doubt?
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Steady hands. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision.
No pressure.
Gant!
You came in like Akuma.
Gant!
Came in like Akuma.
Frame 1! 0, actually. Were you holding up? No? Goodbye. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
Mm-hmm. This is a handprint, right?
Someone left an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have a really oily hand.
Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically.
Huh?
A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand.
Well, that would account for this amount of oil, I guess. I don't get what's so scientific about it, though.
It happens, you know. I always slip on the floors at school after they're waxed. Oh yeah? It just happens.
Did we have that conversation before?
I don't recall that conversation.
I don't recall it either. No. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie.
Chief Gant?
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my god. Phoenix, you got put like that?
Shit. Oh, don't look at the back of his neck, though. Soaked. Oh,
Yo.
we're playing the game. We're playing the game.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture.
What's this? Oh.
See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? Yeah. This was brought out. This was brought out. He's calling himself to attention on it.
It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of police department.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, righto? Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened.
What? You mean you admit to it?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her?
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that's when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Sky?
I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course. Insurance? Yes, I was sure my plan would work. But it was always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that the girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging evidence?
What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Strategically cracked. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too?
Hit him! Ho! Ho 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 ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Wright-o. Cough it up already. I know you have it. Steady hands.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do all that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Wright-o. You should have shown it before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine.
Oof.
Okay. We stalled on it, but now's the time. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
All right then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Uh-huh. Oh, what are we looking at? Guilty!
Death! Firing squad. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean? It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Wright-o had all the time to present this evidence, yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Emma Skye.
Emma Skye? What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Oh! Oily enough as there were, turns out there's blood on those hands too, child! Would you like some hand sanitizer? I've keep a couple pairs on me. Little Purell for the day, you know.
Oh my god.
You're really something, Wright-o. You knew this girl did all that all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
Hold it! How could you? You monster!
Miss Skye.
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too.
Uh-oh.
You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy.
No, not the badge! No! Not the badge! Oh, there's a number on it, too.
There's a number on it. I never noticed.
So, this is what the back of the badge looks like. And I always thought it had a safety pin.
Each badge has a number carved into it. That way you can tell which attorney it belonged to.
You mean you couldn't lend your badge to anyone?
Nope, I'd be found out right away.
Well, that's no fun.
Only now, with the power of dual screens, can we rotate our badge in the third dimension.
Bless the technology.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Are you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up.
Okay.
Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? That girl over there.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Huh?
You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? Talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
Ooh la la. So close. He's panicking. You can still see the fist shaking behind.
We can't suddenly rotate these files in 3D and get a better angle of them.
No stress.
No. No. The angle checks out. Someone can push you from down here, and this is low enough that you could fall onto that.
Okay, visual calculus.
Visual calculus. Little girl shoving a grown-ass man, stumbling backwards. Is the height even possible? This photo confirms it.
Okay.
Grabbing the jar. While impaled? Like... No. Can't actually look at the list though. It's just a drawing. They don't want us to get too caught up in the details of what's
on the list.
What's on the list. Or what was admissible.
That's probably not the thing.
The thing itself?
That would frustrate me.
Sometimes they do, though. And we're back to the words. You can't look at Sherlock anymore. How little we knew ye. Farewell.
Oh, yeah, you got a picture out of that, right? Oh, you think we're going meta?
I mean, who is the police department? The captain? Are you a one-man department? And then the photo itself, where you supposedly... No actual shot of the wound coming through. Shoved backwards.
Mm-hmm.
True. No, actually, the blood is you coughing up blood from being stabbed. On your shirt. And here.
And this is what Lana saw.
Lana walked in and saw this. There's spatter. Are we going that hard? Are we going so hard that we're looking at the spatter stain on the shirt underneath the cutout as opposed to being on the leather over the top? I mean, it's a stretch. What exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth.
Had no blood on it.
Wait. There's no blood on it.
Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled as he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, impaled him on the armor's sword?
Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over.
Objection!
That was close, Righto! You almost had me!
What?
Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that! I refute your allegations!
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see that piece of cloth? It's illegal evidence!
What, how, why? Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Uji? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You don't have some conclusive evidence, do you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this time. Oh,
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
at that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
You didn't win! You didn't win! I took my own stock. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son!
Come on.
Guy who lost.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct.
Bruh!
Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it that you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. So the evidence is illegal. Objection! No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Okay.
Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. No, G, don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't really believe...
Objection!
Oh!
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
That is sick as fuck. Let's go. Buy the goddamn book.
Rule number 2.
Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Buy the fucking book. Take that. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law.
Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece of evidence myself. Inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department.
Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
You'll throw the book physically, like,
Fine! We're on the side of the
I
stupid
submit the evidence! Oh! Turnabout mode. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevance, eh? Just take one look at this picture and... Objection! Sorry, but can you recall, when was this picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant.
You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes! No! No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. There's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant! The killer was you! No alibi, no justice, no hope!